What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I got this hair and makeup look. So if you're interested, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Shout out to Tinashe Hair for partnering up with me for this video. They sent me 3 bundles of these gorgeous curls. We have a bundle of 24 and 2 26 inches with a 20-inch frontal. I'm going to be showing you guys how I defined these curls, got them looking poppin' for the summertime, and how I installed this hair as well. So I did create my wig off camera, and I also customized my hairline. So before I go in with styling products, I want to make sure to add some leave-in conditioner. This one is from Lot of Body. I'm going to just spritz this all over the hair really thoroughly and just kind of comb it through to make sure I get every single strand from a root all the way down to the ends. This hair is really curly, so I want to make sure it stays nice and moisturized. I used 2 products basically to define these curls. I first went in with the Silk Elements Curl Defining Mousse. I took a generous amount of that and just spread it all over the hair to give them a little bit of extra definition. And then after that, I used my Lot of Body wrapping foam. And for this, I didn't use as much product, but I did try to focus this more so on the ends because that's where I really want the curls to be like extra defined. So as I'm applying the product, I'm just making sure to thoroughly like comb it in there using my fingers. And this is about all the shedding that I got as I was applying my products. And this is what the hair is looking like after. These curls are so popping, guys. I love wearing curls during the summer. It's just so much easier to take care of than like straight hair and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about frizziness. And I love the fact that the products that I used didn't make the hair feel like crunchy at all, so you still have that nice like softness to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start applying my hair now. I already have my wig cap on. I'm gonna go ahead and snip off some little holes by my ears to make sure that these sideburns lay a lot flatter. Then to secure that wig cap down, I'm going to use the Got To Be Freeze spray, and with my blow dryer, I'm going to go over it on a cool setting and just make sure it's completely dry before I move on to the next step. So now that our hairspray is completely dry, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting off all the excess wig cap. I like to use like a razor versus a pair of scissors because I can get really close to where I need to cut it. So I'm just gonna cut all of that excess off. Then for that excess band in the back, I'm gonna pull it all the way to the top of my head and just tie it in a little knot so it stays out of the way. From here, I'm just going to do some touch-ups on the wig cap. I have a little bit of lifting going on at that very edge, so I'm spraying some extra Got To Be Freeze spray just on the edges just to really press those down so it lays nice and flat. I did also add some makeup to my wig cap just to make sure it blends in really nicely with the lace. I used a color that's a little bit lighter than my natural skin tone because I usually have the issue of my lace being a little too dark for me, so I feel like having that lighter colored foundation on the wig cap kind of helps with that. For some reason, I didn't have that part recorded, but I just wanted to throw that out there just in case you guys were like wondering. So now I can go ahead and start laying my frontal down. I'm going to use the same Got To Be Freeze spray to lay the lace down. And again, I'm going to go in with the cool setting on my blow dryer and just really make sure it's nice and dry before I go ahead and cut off all the excess lace. So now it's time to create some edges. You guys know I love some poppin' edges. So I'm gonna bring some hair down from the hairline and create some little baby hairs and everything. I'm gonna use my hot comb to kind of redirect the hair forward so it lays a lot flatter when I add like my styling foam and everything. Also, don't mind the little flakies that you might see at the roots there. Once I add my styling foam and everything, all that's gonna go away. So I'm gonna comb some edges out using my brush, and then using my razor, I'm gonna give them a nice trim as I go along. Then last but not least, I'm gonna go back in with my wrapping foam from Lotta Body and start styling up my edges. Because this product is really liquidy, I don't put a lot of pressure on my brush when I'm styling my edges. And I also work really quickly because after a while, it's really easy for the lace to kind of like lift again. So just make sure you're not putting too much pressure on your lace. That way you avoid that like lifting from happening. And then before I went in with makeup, I just made sure to wrap my edges up with a silk scarf. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to style the hair at this point, but once I was done with my makeup, I just ended up doing a like half up, half down style, nothing crazy. I did leave out 2 little pieces in the front to help frame my face, but that's pretty much all I did. I didn't really go in with like the styling today. But that's it for the hair portion of this video, guys. Let's go ahead and get into this makeup look. So to prime my eyes, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C12. I like to use this to carve underneath my brows as well to kind of help define them once I go in with like my brow products. So I'm going to spread this all over the eye area, and then using a fluffier brush, I'm going to make sure to really pat that in so that way the eyelid is nice and smooth for my shadows. For my crease colors, I'm going to be using the Melt Cosmetics Impulsive palette. They sent me this palette in PR and I'm absolutely in love with the color story. I think the packaging is so cool too. So I'm going to be using this dark maroon color and start placing that as my darkest shade on the crease. I'm using my trusty Morphe M506. You guys know that I love this brush for like my crease colors and stuff. So I'm just going to really make sure to pack that color on really well. I'm using really light pressure to apply this, and we're going to be doing more of like a rounded cut crease. So I'm going to go ahead and follow that shape as well as I'm applying this color. So the first color that we used was Boss Lady. I'm going to use a mixture of a Rule Breaker and Dream Big next for the crease. And I'm going to use these 2 colors to blend out Boss Lady. So I picked up a new Morphe M506 brush, and I'm going to gently graze the edges of that dark shadow to start blending it out. Before I go in with my last crease color, I'm going to use some Fenty Beauty blotting powder and just set the base above my first 2 crease colors. So that way when I apply my third one, it goes on a lot more smoothly. The blend is really seamless and my brush isn't skipping as I'm applying the color. So now I'm going to go in with 2012, which is like this mustardy yellow type of shade, and using another clean Morphe M506, I'm going to start blending out those last 2 colors that we applied onto the crease. So now it's time for my favorite part, which is cutting the crease. I'm going to use another Makeup Revolution concealer. This one is in the shade C1, so it's just a lot lighter than the concealer that I use to prime my eyes. And the shape that I'm going for is a lot more rounded, so I'm going to leave that outer corner open so I can add my crease colors into that space to blend into the concealer. I've been dying to use these eye bases that I got from Radiance ever since they sent them to me in PR. This is a really cool product, you guys. It's like a gel type of eye base, and it has a really pretty metallic finish to it, so it looks gorgeous underneath like pigments and stuff. So I'm going to add that on top of my concealer and use it as a base because I am going to be using a really gold kind of like bronzy pigment today on top of it. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this product. It works out perfectly, and I love the fact that it has like more of a tackier finish to it, so I can apply pigments right on top of it before it dries all the way down. I'm then going to add my pigment. This one is from Makeup Addiction in the shade Antique Bronze, and just look how gorgeous it is, guys. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I was literally like freaking out as I was applying my pigment because that base literally just made this pigment pop so much. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and apply that right on top of that base right after, and just make sure to cover the whole entire lid space. Then next I'm gonna start working on my liner. So to create this liner, I wanted to first go in with some gel. So I use the Gelato liner from Bakerie. This is their black one. I use two different brushes to create the black portion of this liner. I use the angled one to kind of create more of like the sharper edge, and then I use the smaller one to get like the extra detailing and stuff, like figure out how thick I wanted the black to be and everything. I just did it this way because I found it a little bit difficult to get the shape that I wanted just using the angled brush, so I ended up switching to the regular liner brush to kind of help me out. Once I'm done adding my black, I went in with some neon liner from Suva Beauty. This is their Hydra Fix or Hydra FX. I'm not really sure which one it is, but I'll make sure to put it in the description box. So I went ahead and added that right after. The only thing that I didn't like about the Suva Beauty liner is that it's not as matte as I would like it to be. So I ended up adding a neon pigment on top of it to kind of set it. This one is from Melolops. I think that's how you say her name on Instagram. She's such a sweet girl though. She's like only 19 and she has her own like a makeup line and everything. So I just went ahead and added that right on top of the liner just to kind of give it more of like that matte finish versus like the slight shine that the Suva Beauty liner had on its own. Now it's time for lashes. I'm going to be using the Lilly lashes in the style Mykonos. I'm going to pop these babies on using some tweezers, and then right after I'm just going to add some mascara to kind of blend in my natural lashes with the falsies so there's no gap in between. Alright guys, and the eyes are basically done. I'm going to go ahead and move on to skin. I'm going to start off prepping my skin using the Farsali Unicorn Serum, and I'm just going to do a few drops of that onto my cheeks and forehead and just blend that in using my fingers. Then to prime, I'm going to be using the Covergirl Skin Smoothing Primer. I really like this stuff because it almost feels like a moisturizer, but it just works so well underneath like a lot of foundations that I have in my collection. So I love to use this stuff to prime. Then for foundation, I'm going to be using something new. This is from Uoma Beauty. This is their Say What foundation. I'm using the shade 21N from the Brown Sugar range. So this foundation is really interesting. I feel like it oxidizes, but like backwards, if that makes sense. So it starts off really warm on me, like almost orangey, and then it kind of dries down into like the neutral undertone, which is like what I was hoping for. But other than that, it's a really great foundation. I love the finish of it and the formula. I feel like if you have oily skin, you should definitely check this out because it has a really beautiful matte finish. I just thought it's really unusual how it kind of starts off really warm and then kind of dries down into like the undertone that it's labeled as. Then for concealer, I used the Uoma Beauty Stay Woke concealer, and again, the undertone just wasn't right on this one for me. I am going to be looking for another shade in this because again, I really love the formula. It's just the color was kind of off. So to combat that, I used the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter concealer, and this one is in the shade 350. So I just added some of that on top to kind of balance it out, and altogether it looked really pretty. I used my Juno & Co microfiber velvet sponge. This is their new lavender shade to blend everything out. So I'm just gonna make sure everything is nice and seamless before I go into like setting everything with powder. I wanted to add a little bit of extra brightness to the under eye, so I'm going to be using the Danessa Myricks Vision Cover Cream. I'm only using a very small amount of this because the color is very light and these are super full coverage, so you don't need a whole lot of product. I'm only going to focus this on the innermost part of the under eye because that's where I tend to get more of a shadow, so I'm just using this to basically brighten up that area so it doesn't look so dark. Then with that Fenty Pro Filter powder, I'm going to use this to set all the areas that I added concealer. Then going in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Golden, I'm going to add a very small amount of this on the innermost part of the under eye to keep that area nice and bright. Then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use MAC Studio Fix Powder in the shade NC50. Then to bring some extra color into the skin, I'm going to use Makeup Forever's Pro Fusion Bronzer in the shade 30M. I love this color because it's not too warm, but it's also not too cool tone. So I'm going to add this onto my cheekbones, along my hairline, a little under the nose to kind of lift it up a little bit, as well as the jawline, just to make sure everything is blending really well into the foundation and to the neck area too. And then for blush, I'm going to use the Too Faced Fruit Cocktail Blush Duo in the shade Cherry Bomb. I'm now going to finish up with the eyes, so I'm going to work on that lower lash line and smoke it out first. I'm going to go in with the same colors that I applied onto the crease onto the lower lash line, so I'm using Boss Lady first with a smaller smudger brush. I'm going to place this color closest to the lash line. Then to blend that out, I'm going to go in with the Rule Breaker, which is that orangey type of color on the top there. Lastly, I'm going to go in with 2012, which is that mustardy yellow color, and I'm going to add that onto the lower lash line as well, so everything flows together with the crease colors on the top. And then for the waterline, I wanted to add like a neon orange to kind of match with the graphic liner. So I'm using this neon orange pencil by Linda Hallberg. To finish up the eyes, I added a couple of coats of mascara on the lower lashes, and now I'm going to go ahead and move on to brows. As usual, I'm using my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Ebony. You guys know I love this stuff. This is my ride or die. I can create a fluffy brow with this. I can create a more sculpted brow. It's just super versatile if you have like the right brush and everything. So I've been going for more of a sculpted brow lately, so I'm going to create a line at the top, a line at the bottom, and then just create some brow hairs in between to fill in all the sparser areas. Then I'm going to use the Anastasia Dip Brow Gel in the shade Dark Brown to set all those hairs into place. If you have not tried the MAC Fix Plus Spray and the new watermelon scent, girl, you have no idea what you are missing. This stuff smells so good. Oh my gosh. But if you haven't tried it, definitely go into stores and try these guys out. They smell so delicious. I'm so happy that they came out with new scents. This one is definitely my favorite of the bunch, and I really hope they come out with full sizes. Please, MAC, please, because this one smells absolutely delicious. So once I'm done drying my face down with my fan, I'm gonna go ahead and add some highlighter. I'm using a highlighter from Jordana Tisia. This is in the shade Stella. It's like a really pretty, like warm golden type of shade. So I'm gonna add this onto all the high points of my face. So for me, that's cheekbones, bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, a little on the cupid's bow, and a touch on the chin. I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go with lips today. I was gonna do like a darker brown, but then I tried it on and I was like, I wasn't really feeling it. So I ended up doing a nude lip because I'm Tiffany, and if you watch my channel, we love nude lips here. So to line my lips, I'm first gonna go in with the ColourPop lip pencil in the shade of Pitch. If I was doing a nude lip like on a normal day, I probably would have used a lip liner that's a little bit lighter than this, but because like I said, I was gonna go for more of a darker lip, I ended up using a darker lip liner, but we made it work anyways. So once my lips are lined, I'm gonna go ahead and fill them in using the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Nude Embrace. This is a really cute, like typical, like neutral lipstick. So I'm gonna add that all over the lips and then just blend it in using my finger. I'm going to use two different glosses today. The first one is from Too Faced. This is Show Me Your Coconuts from their Tutti Frutti collection. I really love the color of this gloss. It just wasn't giving me that shine that I was looking for. So I ended up adding the Fenty Gloss Bomb on top of it in Fenty Glow to really make the lips nice and glossy. But that's pretty much it for this look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Definitely let me know what you guys think of the look down below in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more hair and makeup tutorials. But thank you again for watching, guys. I love you, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.